Hey everyone, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Heavensward, where we get to unlock today my favorite job in the game with the best story out of any job quest in the game. Oh god, I don't want to overhype it. I really don't want to overhype it, but it's so hard. It's so good. Today's daily minion roulette is giving us Zoo Hatchling. Hello there, baby Zoo. Okay. Let's do this. I am very excited. We want to go do a dark spectacle to unlock our new job. I have mentioned many times in the past that there is something I got spoiled on. And the spoiler I received single-handedly convinced me that I needed to play this game, and I have not regretted it. This is that quest. And it may take a little while to understand why this convinced me that I need to play this game, but you will understand in due time. There is a lot of unique things going on with this quest, or with this quest series, and I'm going to do my best to show all of them. After witnessing a spectacle like that, everyday life seems rather dull in comparison. What happened? Huh? So you didn't see that trial earlier? Ah, your loss. Fury take me, the way that heretic swung that slab of iron he called a sword was a sight to behold. He couldn't have carried a shield if he wanted to, the blade was so big. Had to keep two hands on it at all times. I was amazed he managed to keep up with that temple knight for as long as he did. Fought like a demon from the deepest pits of the seventh hell, bellowing threats and working his arts. I wasn't sure what to make of it at first, but then I heard someone say that he must be a dark knight. But you didn't hear that from me, eh? In fact, I'm sure I don't know anything about it. I'm gonna press. Tell me about this Dark Knight. Ye gods, are you mad? We're standing outside the bloody tribunal. Fine, but keep quiet and listen well because I'm only gonna say this once. Alright. The people of Ishgard are in high spirits, for another heretic has answered for his crimes. Our end. So as I was saying, that heretic was fighting with a man like a man possessed. Even after he took several wounds, he showed no sign of pain, though there was no mistaking the blood. As the fight wore on, it began to soak through his armor, spreading to every ilm of his body. But when it began to rise and envelop him as a mist, I realized it wasn't blood, but something dark and twisted. But the righteous are not so easily cowed, Helene be praised. I screamed myself hoarse when that temple knight slid past his guard and ran him through. Good riddance, I say. Man was not meant to wield such arts. Yet I wonder, was he truly one of those... Well, that matters not. I heard the temple knights talk of dumping his corpse in the broom. Fucking of course! Cops kill a man and then drop the body in the fucking ghettos, of course! By sunrise, it'll be stripped bare and tossed over the walls. It'll be as though he never was, and as though we never had this conversation. Well then, let's go investigate. Now, I must issue a heavy content warning for this quest series, especially this opening quest. Content warnings for all cops are bastards and cops raping children. Yet now that the tone has been appropriately set, let's go. I'm sorry if you consider that spoilers, but you can understand why that's kind of an important thing to give a content warning for. Don't worry, the game treats it with at least a level of respect. It definitely treats it as... Sorry, phrasing is probably not the best. It treats it as fucked up as it is. Now, I want to actually check something. Justice has been done this day as another trial by combat is concluded. According to one spectator, it was a fight for the ages as the accused wielded a massive sword and worked his dark arts against his foe. In the end, however, he was no match for his opponent, who ran him through to a chorus of cheers. Seeing no need to afford the man a proper burial, the temple knights mean to dispose of the corpse by leaving it in the broom. Intrigued by the spectator's account, you consider seeking out the knights and seeing this demon for yourself. The Dark Knight quests do something very interesting and special and unique with the journal entries. We're going to be doing our best to read every single one. And trust me, this is not just me wanting to slow down or anything. There is something very special about these journal entries. That's more than far enough for charity. I'll take care of the rest. and mayhaps sooner rather than later. Come on. Is this it? Is this all that awaits? No, no more. Enough! Open your eyes. Look, do you see now? Do you see? Satora! Satora! I've been waiting for you to open your eyes. You alright? You are moaning in your sleep and sweating buckets besides. Name's Frey, by the way, and no, I'm not a heretic. Try convincing a temple knight drunk on authority of that, eh? Shame the pompous arse got the better of me. But how about you? You touched it, yes? That couldn't have felt good. Who are you? How are you alive? A voice, eh? And a rather distressed one besides. Please, someone, anyone! Not so fast. We need to talk about what's happening to you, what's growing within you before you get carried away. There's a darkness within us all. Nothing dangerous, mind. In fact, it's quite healthy. But the crystal changes you, gives you the power to channel it. Do it without proper training, however, and, well, it might hurt. So go ahead, ask me to teach you. Ask me to instruct you in the ways of the Dark Knights, and I will. Kneeling before the body, we spy a crystal, and reach out to claim it. All at once, our body trembles, and a strangely familiar voice echoes in our ears. We collapse, and when we open our eyes, we find the woman standing before us, hale and healthy. She calls herself Frey, and it would seem that reports of her death were greatly exaggerated. She's intrigued when we tell her of the voice we heard, but before we can continue, a cry from the streets below draws our attention. We turn to leave, but Frey bars our path and insists that we discuss the changes that we are undergoing due to touching her crystal. Seems the knight's got your gender wrong, Frey. Sorry about that. I know you're still worried about that screaming woman, so I'll keep this brief. We Dark Knights don't care one whit for prestige or pedigree. We are free to follow our hearts, to defend the weak and punish the guilty as we see fit. The law of the land, the authority of a name, these are tools cowards use to escape harm. We have no need of shields, figurative or literal. Here, my blade is your blade, my soul crystal, your crystal. Go on, take them. You'll need them soon enough. Alright. Dark Knight unlocked. Are you afraid of the dark? I'm sure not. Okay, let's see. First, where would you be? Towards the bottom, I assume? Nope. Okay, it's gonna be further up. Wait, Disciple of War, not... That's class, not job. We want this. Here we go. The freedom to follow our heart, to defend the weak and punish the guilty as we see fit. This is the way of the Dark Knight, and Frey offers to teach us. We need only accept her guidance. Okay. Let's get that sword equipped. Steel Claymore. Oh god. Oh god. It's horribly ugly. Well, that's a problem. Good news is in my retainers, I have an actual proper set of gear that we can equip that will get us up to not item level 17. I will be, you know what? Actually, this would also be a good opportunity to show off the inn. There is a lot we need to go over with Dark Knight, though. There's a lot of abilities we've unlocked. We're starting at level 30. All Heavensward jobs start at level 30. Alright. Hop on down. Head on to the inn so we can check out Ishgard's inn. Cozy little area. Not the highest quality of rooms, but certainly an area. Okay, let's see. Summoning Bell. It's stored with Altoon, I believe. Altoon has the weapons. Okay, that was it. Shoot. Well, that's slightly a problem. I'm gonna have to run off and craft my own gear then. Alright, well, let's at the very least start going over Dark Knight and how it works before we go and grab some gear. Blood Gauge. This symbol indicates the defensive stance. Grit is an effect which increases enmity. Let's get that positioned properly. That's part of the Blood Gauge. Switch it to simple mode because helps to save space. Just on our HUD. There we go. And let's get our hotbar set up. You know what? Yeah, I'm going to go get my hotbar set up, grab some, or craft some gear, and then we will go over how Dark Knight works when I get back. So be back in a bit. Alright, I am back. I got all of my gear crafted up. We've got item level 30 gear with item level 28, 29 accessories, because unfortunately, there's no item level 30 accessories, not for tanks. Oh well, that's fine. Once we get to level 50, all the numbers will start making less sense. Also, you can't craft the steel claymore because it's just your default weapon. It's unique. Cannot get a high quality version of it from crafting apparently. At the very least, I couldn't find a recipe for steel claymore anywhere. All right, let's begin. So, oh, I didn't set the roll actions. Oh well. Let's set those real quick. And then I have a macro for Shirk. No, not HUD layout. User macros. Shirk. Set right there. Perfect. Actually, I should modify that macro at some point because it's set to target the second person in the party list, which is usually co-tank, but... no, Shirk's fine. Shirk, I think Shirk is fine. There's another macro I should probably improve though. Anyways. Oh, and I gotta set those on my AoE hotbar as well. Yay, so much to set up. Anyways. Oh wait, no, oh god. We don't have Shirk at this level. What we do have... Why did I read interject and think that said Shirk? Okay, whatever. Ignore me. I'm having a day. Now then, basic Dark Knight rotation. Very, very simple to start. Level 30 is an extremely simple rotation. You've got your main GCD combo, Hard Slash, Siphon Strike, Soul Eater. You have a ranged ability, and you have a single area of attack ability. We have... Why is it not set? I swear I just set it. Because I set it on hotbar 3 instead of hotbar... No. I'm having a day. One on the left, hotbar 3. There we go. Now grit works. Okay. So yeah, we've got our tank stance, which is grit. We've got our basic 1-2-3 combo. We've got our roll... defensives, we've got a ranged attack, we've got provoke, interject, low blow, standard roll actions, and we've got unleash, which is our area of attack. Area of effect attack. Wow, I'm having a day. Okay, Hard Slash, basic potency of 150, Siphon Strike, potency of 240, and restores MP. And Soul Eater has a potency of 320 and cures for 300 potency. Very nice. So you have a little bit of self-heal in your basic combo. Unleash is a potency of 120 to all nearby enemies. So let's see. What's the average potency on our core combo? 150 plus 240 plus 320 is about 710. And this is 120 per enemy over 3 cycles. Looks like 2 enemies or more unleashed is unleash is better. But only barely. It's only much better at 3 or more. So standard kind of expectations for your AoE attack. Okay, the Dark Knight rotation will get a lot more interesting, of course, as we get to higher levels and unlock more of its abilities. Now, Frey, let's begin our training. Frey is ready to teach us. We need only ask. Well, well, don't you look the part? Ready to harness the darkness within to set the wrongs right? Now bear in mind that while the darkness gives you strength, that strength comes at a cost. That is but one sacrifice, though, and justice demands many. Say a man, a venerable, untouchable man, harms a child in unspeakable ways. He strides through the Hopland, secure in the knowledge that he is beyond punishment. But for one who cuts down that vile beast as he flaunts his freedom, who knows how many others will suffer? Such was the dilemma faced by a goodly knight long ago. He knew that he would be stripped of his titles and denounced for the deed. The threshold we refuse to cross is the line we draw for ourselves. We fear the consequences, and people suffer for our indecision. Everyone who held that crystal came to conquer that fear, and became who they wanted to be. That knight was the first. Will you be the next? Think on that while we look into the commotion down below. Alright. Let's see. Frey speaks to us as the first Dark Knight, a goodly knight who sacrificed all in order to bring an untouchable man to justice. Too many fear the consequences such actions will bring, and innocents suffer for our indecision, she says. Consider her words as we seek out the source of the earlier scream. So you can already kind of get a vibe for what Dark Knight's all about. Dark Knight is about throw out the ideas of law and order. You are doing what is right, regardless of what it is. What needs to be done in order to protect those in need is kind of the core idea of Dark Knight. And it is a very appealing idea. Here we are. Go and ask her what's wrong. Please, I don't know what to do. It's my granddaughter. I didn't see him standing there, and I know that's no excuse. I should have been more careful. But my granddaughter, she started yelling at the Temple Knight, and I tried to stop her, I did. But then he said she had to come with him, and if I could just tell him how sorry I am, maybe he would... He'd take you too, is what he'd do. Even if you went and begged the blue bastard to intervene, it'd be too late by then. And the first time they've taken a girl her age, if she doesn't fight back, they might let her go after. No, there has to be another way. Ah, Ishgardian Justice. They might spare the girl, you know, leave her with a few scars and a lifelong lesson. Or we could beat every last one of them to within an ilm of their lives and rescue the girl. You'd like that, wouldn't you? I knew you would. Everything is going to be alright, madam. When I'm through with those knights, they will not dare trouble you ever again. Oh, thank you, thank you! Whatever it takes to protect those in need. And yes, the implications of what the Temple Knights are going to do to a small child are correct. We come upon an old woman who beseeches us to save her granddaughter, a spirited young woman who was seized by Temple Knights after an altercation. It soon becomes clear that she is not the first girl to be taken under such circumstances, and that the Temple Knights' intentions are anything but honorable. Frey observes that the girl might survive the ordeal, but she knows full well that we would rather punish the knights for their crimes. The decision is made. Make our plans with Frey. Assuming they didn't just drag her into an alley, they've taken her either to the congregation or the tribunal. This honorable Sir Emmerich wouldn't suffer such reprehensible behavior under his roof. The Inquisition, on the other hand, well... So that leaves the tribunal. If the girl is still alive, I imagine they'll make all manner of threats. Come any closer and she dies, and so forth. If so, we'll need to make something perfectly clear to them. We're not here for her, we're here for you. Once they understand she means nothing to us, they'll attack us or flee. I don't know about you, but I'm eager to find out which. We have learned all Dark Knight actions and traits to level 30. Detailed descriptions can be viewed in the menu. Already did that, but thank you. Ah, you know what? I should probably, while I'm thinking about it, set my limit break as well. Not that we're going to need it, but it doesn't hurt to have your limit break set. Alright. Frey surmises that the Temple Knights will take the girl to the Supreme Sacred Tribunal of Hellenic Inquisitory Doctrine. She bids you follow her to the pillars and discuss your next course of action there. Just the one sword between the two of us, I'm afraid. You keep it. I dare say it fits rather snugly in your hands. But don't worry about me. I'll do my part to keep you on your feet. Now, should things turn violent, as I expect they shall, you may need to tap into your dark side to survive. It's not unlike drawing upon your own ether to weave magic. Fear, pain, rage, that which lies in the deepest depths of our soul makes for a potent fuel. But be warned, burn too much too quickly and you risk being consumed. Do not worry, Satora, the first step over the threshold is always the hardest. Ah yes, I should have known you'd do that. Right then, let's find the girl. What, just silently nod at you? You knew we were gonna do that? Search the area between here and the tribunal for the knights. I'll be right behind you. Fear, pain, rage. These dark emotions make for a potent fuel, Frey tells us. Should things turn violent, we may need to draw upon this darkness to strike down our enemies. Prepare for the worst and search the pillar for the Temple Knights. Alright, time to hunt. We have a solo duty ahead, it seems. And they're harassing someone else. Of course they are. Who are you? Another highborn arse? Damn it, girl. You're only making it worse for yourself. The hell's with you? I've done nothing wrong. Why are the pretty ones always so daft? If I had a gil for every time I had to kill an unrepentant bastard like you. What the? Are you threatening a Temple Knight? Oh, you're very clever. Yes, I am. Now let her go. Enough of this! With me, girl, now. One more word of protest and I'll toss your grandmother in a cell to rot. You three, seize this imbecile. I know we promised Count Fortin that we wouldn't cause problems, but wow, we sure did immediately get into a fight with the cops upon arriving in Ishgard and having kind of free reign in the place, didn't we? To be fair, they fucking deserve it. Thankfully, she is much, much older than I feared. Which is still not good. Obviously, it's still horrible, but it's... there's one less way in which it's horrible. Reinforcements, eh? Looks like we'll have to even the odds. Search your soul for the darkness. We need but a sliver. Yes. Do you see, Satora? The flames beckon. Immerse yourself in the flames that ignite the darkness within. Just so, as it burns hotter, so too does your strength swell. But drink not too deep, lest the flames consume you. Alright. We got 3 stacks of a darkness buff, but also we get stacks of magic vulnerability as we grab those. And our darkness gauge up on the duty list increases. If that darkness gauge hits a 100, then we will have consumed too much and we will perish. Alright, let's take care of these Temple Knights. Every now and then it will be wise to grab a new flame in order to refresh ourselves. Make sure our buff does not fall off. And I believe 5 stacks is the maximum. We don't need the other 2 stacks, so we're gonna move onwards. Don't want to overindulge. Alright, Temple Knights, let's do this. Draw you all together so we have maximum impact with our Unleash. One down. And they're clear. Okay. Let's refresh that buff and keep moving. We already have max stack, so I'm not too worried. 3 more. Alright, I am going to take great pleasure in killing you, pernicious Temple Knight. You are a horrible, despicable man. Okay, how's our buff looking? 30 seconds? We're good. It wouldn't hurt to refresh it. Our darkness gauge is empty, so it's safe. We've got a Chirurgeon coming in. Alright, you be gone. No healing up the Temple Knights. They don't deserve any mercy. Not for this monstrosity. Okay, how are we looking? 36 seconds. We're not gonna need it. Take you down. The next knight who bears steel, I'm not only going to kill him, but I'm going to kill his wife, his friends, and burn his whole goddamn house down. Frey, that's a... I mean, I understand the rage, but that might be a little much. Thank you. Those of you who yet live, remember this horror, and know that should you speak of it, it shall be visited upon you again 100-fold. Well then, the girl is safe. The Temple Knights are hopefully going to leave them the fuck alone. Let's hope Count Four Tom doesn't get in trouble for this. You don't think they recognize me, right? Well done, hero. I think the fair maiden wants to have a word. Before we do, oh, how they screamed when we came for them. How their cries of anger turned to fear. How we bathed in the fires of our hatred to bring them to justice. Frey's words were music in our ears as they echoed in the tribunal, as we promised them a reckoning should they dare speak of this day again. How you feeling? I don't know what to say, miss. Thank you, thank you. I got a little carried away earlier. It's just that when I saw how they were treating my grandmother, I had to say something and... Hey, you're all good. You're safe now. What? No one screamed your name. My grandmother called out just the once, but that was it. Speaking of which, I should hurry back. I suppose I ought to say that I'm sorry for what I did, but I'm not. Those knights had it coming. Halone bless you for what you did. Well, I'm glad she's safe. We don't know who screamed our name when we first came across Frey. I wonder who. As we tend to the girl afterwards, we ask if she recalls who it was that screamed our name when she was taken. She tells us, however, that only her grandmother cried out. Thanking us a final time, she hurries back towards the broom, leaving us alone with Frey. Feels good, doesn't it? Strange maybe, but a good strange, I'll wager. You tapped into something primal, a power nestled within you, yearning to be free. As your understanding of this power grows, so too will your skill as a Dark Knight. You have done well, far better than I could have hoped in fact, but there is still so much more to learn, so much further to go. I won't lie to you, Satora, the risks will only increase. So if you want to keep going, you have to trust in me. Can you do that? I can. Bring justice to those in need, regardless of who perpetrates the injustice. Good, that's a promise. Circumstances being what they are, it might be best if we parted ways for a while. Think of it as an opportunity to hone your skills in my absence. But don't worry, we will meet again. When the time is right, I'll be waiting where we first met. Sounds good. And we get Flood of Darkness. Instant cast, 1 second recast time, MP cost 3000. Deals unaspected damage with a potency of 100 to all enemies in a straight line before us. Also grants Dark Side, increasing damage dealt by 10% for 30 seconds. It also extends Dark Side duration by 30 seconds to a maximum of 60 seconds. This is going to be a core part of your rotation. It's keeping your darkness, your Dark Side buff up, because that is a huge buff to all damage. The next Dark Knight quest will be available from Frey upon reaching level 35. Alright. Let's get that Dark Side gauge set in place. Switch it to simple mode. And we will move it down here. Did I want dark side on the left or the right, actually? I can always adjust it later. Okay, we've got Flood of Darkness set there automatically. I also want to make sure it is on the AoE hotbar. Very, very handy. So general Dark Knight rotation is going to be use Flood of Darkness in order to increase your dark side gauge. Try not to overcap your dark side gauge. It can only go up to a max of 60 seconds. And then use it whenever needed in order to keep that dark side buff as high as possible without overcapping it. As a general rule, it is a good habit to keep at least about 3000 MP in reserve. Try not to go below that. We don't need that yet. The ability for which we will need that 3000 MP in reserve won't come for a good while, but it will be just a good habit to be in to preserve that extra MP just for when it's needed. This timer indicates the duration of Dark Side, which increases with increases damage dealt. Using Flood of Darkness or Edge of Darkness, acquired at level 40, grants Dark Side. Alright. I'm going to start leveling up Dark Knight off screen by doing various daily roulettes. Next time on Final Fantasy XIV, we're going to be unlocking our next job here in Ishgard, and hoping that none of the Temple Knights, well, they're all dead now, so it's not like there's anyone alive to recognize us, I hope. Let's just hope we didn't bring trouble for Count Fortom. That would be really bad. I will see everyone next time as we unlock our next job.